And he said, wait a minute, the Astros were here. So this is the first time he has ever been on the field playing here in San Francisco. And you can see the wind, as is often the case here, can be a factor.
Looks like a baby pup, doesn't it?
Full count. Line drive, a well-hit ball to left field, but it's hit right at Conforto. And Snell retires the Blue Jays, who is heading to the All-Star game this year. The numbers just under 300. A dozen home. This is going to be caught. Soft liner out behind second. Leo Jimenez is there.
And defensively
Are they
behind.
booing Justin Turner?
The enemy.
Because he was a Dodger fan. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it's big, and the grass is long, and he had
friendly and difficult on hitters.
Turner lifts one to right center. Ramos, the center fielder, to make the grab, 1 down.
Himself, when you get pitchers like that off the injured list.
Out of playing up the middle. And this is into right center for a base hit. Jansen will put the brakes on, rounding the bag, first and second. The Blues this year, which you wouldn't think would be the case.
No, and I think change up, guys. Where'd they go?
In the air to shallow left. Conforto is in, 2 down. And that's down. He hits it high in the air to right center. It is hit fairly well, but in this ballpark, it's just a long out. Ramos the catch, and the Blue Jays stranded. So 2 down, 4. Hitting .269, 6 homers. And
a good arm that can cut down a lot of opposing base stealers. Though one of the better ones in the game.
That one will run in against the Diamondbacks. Swing and a miss. Got another one. And Yusei Kikuchi. John Schneider was poised. Just the way he kind of
experience.
Last year, the command can really come and go. And that is inside. How about that plate appearance, Joe, for a young man taking a walk? Here's George Springer seeing. And a ground ball hit right to the shortstop. To second 1 and on to first for 2.
Well, Snell challenged George in his first.
Snell's going to let it go. Let Fitzgerald, the shortstop, play it, and he'll make the play, and that's that for the Blue Jays. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. And that's probably a reason why at times the results are so good. Mechanics, good steady mechanics lead to good results. It's interesting because you hear this a lot about pitchers who come over from Japan, how much more they typically like to throw between outings than pitchers who came up in the United States or Canada do. It's just part of the throwing routine in Japan. This is popped up right center, and it'll be Varsho. And again, the wind moving that from right to left as he makes the catch, and Luis Matos is retired. But another thing to keep in mind here in the majors, a starter would start once every 5 or maybe 6 days, depending on if there's an off day. In Japan, 6-man rotation, 1 day off every week, so you start once every 7 days. So maybe it makes sense that as you pitch more often in games here, eventually you have to throttle back what you do between games.
And that's a good call after a few years, finding exactly what his routine or rhythm needs to be. It's good to see the velocity doing what it's doing, but more importantly than anything, it's the secondary pitches that are paired with that fastball that helps him. And that's why he was much better in his first number of starts this season. Some struggles more lately, and part of that is getting those breaking balls back down in the zone.
This is the shortstop Tyler Fitzgerald, a 26-year-old 4th-round pick in 2019 out of the University of Louisville. He is in his 2nd season, but just got 10 games last year, hitting .276 in 34 games so far this year. For years and years, and a few more years, Brandon Crawford was always the guy. Every time he turned on a Giants game, Brandon Crawford was the shortstop.
Fitzgerald would get more playing time. He kind of forced the hand with Nick Ahmed getting designated for assignment today.
Very good defensive shortstop, but doesn't hit a lot. Former Diamondback. And the call is going to be made by Malachi Moore, the home plate umpire. That is another strikeout for Yusei Kikuchi. That is number 6 already.
And that's what the velocity will do. If you can speed guys up with your 95 plus, they have to start going a bit early, and then those breaking pitches again down in the zone. You get that good separation from the elevated fastball.
Now Brett Wisely, the second baseman. Wisely, another guy in his second year in the big leagues. There's been a lot of turnover on this roster over the last couple of years. Got into 51 games a year ago, hit just 175. He's hitting more than 100 points better than that so far this year.
Wisely will be the other side of that shortstop platoon as well, with of course teams, as Bob Melvin said today, playing against more righties. He'll get the bulk of that time.
They do a lot of mixing and matching here. It's not like the World Series days under Bruce Bochy, just throw for the majority of the time guys out there. There's a lot of people moving around on this team. There's a base hit through the right side for Wisely, and that is the first base runner tonight for the Giants.
Well, Melvin said today that the team got younger with the moves that they made. Ahmed out, and we'll see a lot more of Wisely and Fitzgerald in the infield. Stays on this pitch in a lefty-lefty matchup very well. You can see Yusei, it's a breaking pitch, but it just didn't spin to the other side of the plate. Stayed in the inner half.
Pretty experienced man right there. Nothing's going to rock his boat, really. This is his 22nd year as a major league manager. Thairo Estrada, line drive and right at Davis Schneider. And the Giants are retired. No score through 3.